Okay, so we're going to solve word problems. So today and starting on this whole series of videos that I'm doing is all about solving word problems. It is extremely important in the real world, in real life, when we're dealing with real things, real situations, that we know how to handle word problems, because handling word problems is our practice ground, our training ground for dealing with real problems in the real world. And I understand that, and here's the reality of it. Kids from grade school up to adults, for some reason, they hate working with word problems, okay? But the sooner you realize that word problems is the most important aspect of mathematics, you will start to look forward to working with word problems, because that is where you separate yourselves. And I'm sorry, and this is true to a greater degree, is that you separate yourself from other people. People who steer away from word problems, or who keep telling themselves, I hate word problems, I don't like word problems, set themselves up for failure when they compare themselves to somebody else who looks at word problems as a challenge to be solved, and they don't keep complaining about it, right? And I hate to use those terms, but that's what a lot of kids grow up realizing and become adults who hate word problems, because they were kids who hated word problems. They never had someone explain to them why word problems were important, why it's better just to attack them and learn how to deal with them than just go through the motions and just keep saying, I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. Okay, and I'm sorry, that's one of my soapboxes that I'm taking this time on the video to go over. But the more you practice word problems, the more you're going to, again, you're building the habit of critical thinking. Okay, problem solving is a mental, not strategy, but a mental training, right? It's a mental activity, and it takes exercising that mental activity to get better at it. Okay, because that's going to prepare you for when you get a real problem in the real world and you've got to solve it. Okay, so enough of that. Let's jump right in and start doing word problems. So here's one for transportation. Okay, the statement. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, it says the horsepower required to overcome vehicle air resistance is equal to the cube of the vehicle speed in miles per hour multiplied by the frontal area in square feet divided by 150,000. Boy, oh boy. How do we translate that into a word problem? Wow. So again, the very first step in solving a word problem is to read the problem carefully. And if you have to read it twice, 3 times or more, do it. Okay? The number one step in problem solving is to understand the problem. You've got to understand what's going on, the relationships between the different variables, and you've got to be able to put that on the board or on the paper as a formula. That's what they want you to do here. So let's read it again slowly. Okay, so the first thing it says the horsepower required to overcome vehicle air resistance is equal to, okay, here we go. So it says the horsepower. So let's define these variables. So you're talking about horsepower. So let's call that H, right? The horsepower is equal to. So let's put the equal to. Now what does it say? It says it's equal to what? The cube of the vehicle speed. Okay, let's use V for velocity or speed. Okay, so it's the cube, equal to the cube of the velocity speed. So that's going to be V cubed, right? I'm just writing down what they said. It's equal to the cube of the velocity speed. So the velocity cubed. Now, okay, what else did I do? Okay, now it's equal to the cube of the vehicle speed in miles per hour multiplied by what? Multiplied by the frontal area. Okay, so it's frontal area. So multiplied by the frontal area. So the cube of the speed multiplied by the frontal area. So I'm going to write A. Right, I'm just going to make that A for the frontal area. Then what does it say? Now it says it's multiplied by the frontal area in square feet divided by 150,000. Okay, divided by, so multiplied by this, divided by 150,000. Now you might have written it, if you're doing this on your own, you might have written it this way. V cubed times the area divided by 150,000. That's okay, it's the same thing. This and this is just two different ways of saying the same thing, right? Okay? So now, this is power. Now, instead of H, let's use P for power because it's horsepower. Okay? Now, the thing is you also want to use, look at the units. Make sure you understand the units. Okay, so the units is what? Miles per hour. Okay, it's miles per hour cubed times area, which is in square, what? Square feet? Is that what they said? Yes, square feet. Okay, over 150,000. Okay, and that's it. Okay, we'll come back and we'll do another one. Have a great day.